Thinkers, you have been doing an amazing job using various strategies to elaborate upon your thinking. Remember to always try to justify and elaborate your thinking without repeating or saying the same thing over and over. In this strategy called the Say More strategy, you are going to be able to elaborate your thinking by saying more about a topic without repeating yourself. I want you guys to keep up the amazing work that you've already been doing with elaborating your thinking. But at the same time, I'm going to constantly remind you that the purpose of the C and the E and an ACE response is to make your claim as clear as possible. This is why we want you writing in this structure, because in doing so, in making your C or making your A as clear as possible, you're basically persuading your listener to think the way that you're thinking and to really absorb the information that you're putting out. Here's some great news about the Say More strategy. This strategy is extremely useful in persuasive, informational, and scientific responses, which means you can use it in so many aspects of your life. Persuasive, use this with your parents to help persuade them and convince them of your thinking. Informational, use this to give information to people so that they don't have any more questions. Scientific responses, this is great after completing a science lab where you have to write up your findings. So, in the Say More strategy, you are going to be able to say more about your claim without saying the same thing over and over. Essentially, we're going to spice up your writing. So, let's take a look at me using this example. I have the question, who is the best teacher in the school? And I answer, Mrs. Altea is the best teacher in the school. Because of her, my grades are now higher than they ever were. Now I elaborate my evidence. For example, my GPA is now 3.5. This makes it possible for me to apply to colleges that I'm interested in. Notice that I simply just say more about my evidence. I expanded upon it by giving an example of what my higher grades are and what I can do with those higher grades. So, how am I going to do this? As always, you're going to answer and you're going to cite evidence using the appropriate strategies. But then you need to push your thinking and start asking yourself, can I say more? Can I give more evidence using different words? Can I explain my evidence by providing more of a definition? Can I explain my evidence with another piece of evidence? Or can I explain my evidence by providing scientific examples? Once I have an answer to one or more of those questions, I'm going to choose which direction I want to go in. And then I'm going to ace my response by using one of these sentence starters. I can say, another way to look at it would be, or another way to say it would be, I can use in addition to expand upon. For example, furthermore, or in fact. So I want you to go ahead and pause this and read this article, or maybe your teacher will read the article to you. But be prepared to use the information from this article to ace a question. Okay, so now that you've read the article, let's look at an example about spiders. You're given the question, are spiders really as bad as many people think? So you write, spiders are not as bad as many people think. According to the article, most spiders are harmless to humans. Now, before we can elaborate, we need to push our thinking. What else can we say about this evidence? Can I give more information about the evidence in different words? Or can I provide more of a definition? Can I provide scientific evidence? Well, there's a lot I can do. I can answer each of those questions that are designed to push my thinking. So let's see what direction I've gone in. I've decided to go ahead and give some scientific evidence. I start with in fact, and I write, in fact, spiders can actually be helpful to humans. Spider venom can be used to help make medicines, and their silk may help scientists figure out new ways to make bridges. Notice how I used my say more strategy to support my A. We use this strategy to add more pieces of evidence to support our claim or to explain the evidence further. Let's try another one together. The question is, has social media improved our way of life? I've decided to answer in the affirmative by saying yes. Social media has improved our way of life. I decide I need to cite some evidence. So think about it. What is one fact or one piece of evidence that supports my claim that social media has improved our way of life? I decide to go in the route of watching movies and being able to find out information regularly on your own time when it's convenient for you. So I cite the evidence. One reason is that now people can watch new movies without setting foot outside their homes. Now I want to elaborate. I want to push my thinking. I want to ask, can I give more information? Can I give more evidence? Can I further define what I mean by watching new movies or what I mean by social media? So I'm going to push my thinking. And once I have it, I'm going to use the sentence starter, for example, to elaborate. Think about how I can elaborate this on your own. All right. So I've chosen to elaborate my thinking by further defining and giving more evidence to support my claim. I write, for example, services such as Netflix allow people to watch any movie they'd like anytime it's convenient. Notice that I have expanded upon, I've elaborated my thinking by saying what type of social media, Netflix, allows people to have this convenience. Now I want you to try. I want you to go ahead and answer the question, which animal do you think makes a better pet, a cat or a dog? Go ahead and ace this response using the sentence starter, I think, for your answer, one reason for your citation, and either for example or in fact for your elaboration. Do this now. You probably have a wide range of answers. Some of you might have picked dogs, some of you might have picked cats. But here's an example ACE response to the question, which animal do you think makes a better pet, cat or a dog? I wrote, I think a cat makes a better pet than a dog. One reason is that cats don't need someone to walk them. In fact, cats simply go to the litter box to do their business. No need to take them out on three times a day, rain or shine. All the owner has to do is clean up regularly. Notice how I elaborated my thinking by saying more about the fact that we don't have to take cats on walks. Now try again. Answer the question, should kids get paid for doing chores? Answer with the sentence starter, I think. Cite evidence with the sentence starter, one reason. And elaborate with the sentence starter, furthermore. Go ahead and do this now. So you probably have various answers. Again, some of you may have said no, some of you may have said yes. Here's my answer. I wrote, I think kids should get paid for doing chores. One reason is that it teaches them responsibility and the value of hard work. Furthermore, they will place more thought into how to spend or save their money, having had to work hard for it in the first place. Notice how I elaborated by saying more about how it teaches them responsibility and how they value hard work. This is called the say more strategy. Remember, you want to always push your thinking. Always push your thinking. And one of the ways you can do that is by asking yourself, can I say more about my evidence? Can I give more of a definition to my evidence? Or can I give another piece of evidence? Or maybe even, can I provide scientific evidence? Use your sentence starters. Another way to look at, in addition, to expand upon, for example, furthermore, or in fact, to elaborate your thinking and ace your responses.